Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we will be going over the severe weather outbreak that is likely for portions of the Ohio Valley and the Southeast. So to get us started today, there is a 15% significant tornado risk, and that is in Ohio and portions of Kentucky and Indiana as well. And then there's a large 10% significant tornado risk surrounding that does go from Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee all the way up into Indiana and Ohio. There's also a 30% significant wind risk for portions of the Ohio Valley, and there's also a non-significant 30% wind risk surrounding that does stretch from Birmingham, Alabama, all the way up to Indianapolis, Indiana. There's also a 30% significant hail risk, which does include most of the Ohio Valley, and then there's a non-significant 30% hail risk that does go from Birmingham all the way up to Charleston, West Virginia. So there's also a slight risk for day 2, which is going to be April 3rd, and this does include a 2% tornado risk in portions of Florida and South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. So some places that are included in Florida for this 2% tornado risk are is Orlando, Tampa, and Jacksonville. Also, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, and Wilmington, North Carolina are also included in that 2% tornado risk. There's also a 15% wind risk, which does include Orlando, Tampa, and Jacksonville, and that also includes Virginia Beach and Richmond, Virginia as well. And there's also a 15% hail risk, which does include Virginia Beach and Richmond, Virginia. There's also a small 5% hail risk in portions of Florida that does include Tampa, Orlando, and Jacksonville as well. I do want to mention a tornado watch that is up right now that does include portions of Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. This is a 40% probability of 2 or more tornadoes and a 20% probability of 1 or more strong tornadoes, which is EF2 and higher. There's also a separate tornado watch which does include Central Kentucky, and this is a 50% chance for the probability of 2 or more tornadoes and a 20% chance for the probability of 1 or more strong tornadoes, which is EF2 or higher. So here are the models. We are starting this off at around 11 a.m. We do have some of those storms showing in Ohio and Indiana. Keep this moving. We do have those supercells starting to fire up with that possible line of storms in western Kentucky, western Indiana, and western Tennessee as well. Keep this moving. We do see that line start to dissipate around 2-3 a.m. and then there's some of that backside snow wrapping around with some blizzard conditions possible every now and then. We will shift over to the New England, I guess you could say, area, and there are some of those storms going in Pennsylvania, and then there's storms that come into West Virginia and portions of Virginia and Maryland as well. And then there's that line of storms, and then there's that line of storms again in Virginia, North Carolina, and that could possibly even get into portions of Delaware and Maryland as well, with some backside, with the backside line of storms or supercell. And then there is some of that backside snow coming in. And then for the southeast, we will also start this off around 11 a.m. with those storms starting to fire, possible line of storms in portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. And this does move into portions of Alabama and Georgia. I do believe there will be a line with possible supercells in front of it that could produce some strong tornadoes and possibly long track tornadoes as well. Keep this moving. We do see that line again with some possible supercells in front of it and embedded in that line as well and we could possibly even see some supercells start to fire up behind that line. So that is not a good thing. And then there's some of that cold air that does start to rush in after that cold front moves through. There's also a 15% risk of severe weather for portions of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. That is the day 5 risk. So that would be on April 6th, and some portions some areas included in this are Wichita, Oklahoma City, Norman, Fort Sill, Wichita Falls, and Woodward, Oklahoma. So we will be wanting for that to be possibly upgraded to an enhanced risk. But as of now, it's just a 15% risk of severe weather, so basically a slight risk. So, yeah, we do have that moderate risk of severe weather today, which is a 4 out of 5. And where this is located up in the Ohio Valley and the Appalachian Mountains, that is very rare, and that 15% significant tornado risk is also very rare as well. So that is all for today. Please like and subscribe if this does help you out in any way, and please share this information about this severe weather today. And sorry about the mic quality and possible background noise. I am working on that as well. Alright, stay safe and have a good one.